The link between understanding computer logic and manually typing the syntax required to execute it has been permanently severed. If you are still tying your career identity to a specific programming language or IDE, you are holding on to a system that no longer requires your manual input. For 50 years, the integrated development environment was the undisputed sanctuary of the engineer. But today, relying on those traditional tools makes you a ghost haunting your own machine. Developers are becoming obsolete as AI transitions from a sidekick auto-completing functions to a full-scale orchestrator. While traditional coding roles are shrinking, there is a surge in demand for architects of intent. These system whisperers understand how to chain models together into self-healing ecosystems, and the market is currently rewarding that skill with compensation packages clearing $400,000. To make this transition, grab a digital whiteboard or a piece of paper. We are going to map out a complete 5-step agentic workflow blueprint that you can use to manage these autonomous systems. Survival in the AI-native era requires a psychological shift. You must move away from the infantry trenches of the keyboard and step into the general's command tent. The first step is letting go of keystroke-level control. Start by drawing a line down the center of your board. Place legacy skills like manual DOM manipulation and writing routine unit tests on one side. On the other, write the word directing. This data reflects the brutal reality of the current market. Entry-level software engineering roles have plummeted by 35% in the last 2 years, while the demand for high-level AI orchestration is surging. A tech lead no longer needs to spend 6 months mentoring a junior developer to write CRUD applications. Today, a swarm of AI agents can spin up a perfectly optimized, bug-tested backend in 14 seconds for a fraction of a cent. This requires moving away from the visceral satisfaction of a successful compile. You are moving from the deterministic certainty of a compiler to the more complex task of managing the ambiguity of agentic behavior. Draw the first node on your blueprint and label it holistic intent. This is where you define the business logic, the performance boundaries, and the desired user experience. This marks the move from the traditional IDE to an intent environment. In this space, you do not write loops or manage memory allocation. You define the behavioral constraints and allow specialized AI agents to handle the implementation. This is vibe coding. It is a rigorous methodology where the engineer tells the machine exactly what the system must achieve, rather than how to build a specific component. Draw 3 inputs feeding your intent node: data payloads, system prompts, and memory states. This context architecture is the modern standard. Agents care about these structures, not variable names. If an agent loops, your context failed. Fix it by designing a precise RAG pipeline. By securely feeding the agent proprietary data and establishing strict behavioral boundaries, you ensure the system operates within your specific constraints. When this context architecture is perfectly curated, the underlying models can generate the necessary syntax with significantly higher accuracy and minimal human intervention. Add a module labeled Multimodal Sensors. Modern software pipelines process text, live video, and audio simultaneously to interact with the physical world. Passing live streams into an LLM allows the system to extract spatial reasoning in real time. For example, a robotics API can receive actionable JSON data derived directly from a video feed. To make these systems autonomous, add Step 4, a reinforcement learning reward penalty loop attached to the main workflow. Reinforcement learning trains agents to act in dynamic environments without human safety nets. You design the reward functions, and the agents iterate to optimize their own behavior. In a global supply chain, an agent monitors fulfillment center video and cross-references that with audio from supplier calls. It autonomously rewrites logistics routing to bypass a forecasted bottleneck, observing the reward of reduced latency to improve its next action. Mastering these multimodal and autonomous pipelines elevates your skill set far above the baseline capabilities of generic text generation models. Because AI can instantly generate millions of lines of code, the raw syntax itself has lost its intrinsic value. For the final step, draw a hard boundary around your entire whiteboard workflow and label it Domain Guardrails. Deep expertise in sectors like finance and complex healthcare, along with energy, provides the maximum leverage. These fields involve complex compliance that requires human oversight. The AI can write the application, but only an expert knows the intricacies of the market well enough to define what is legally and operationally safe to build. Your completed whiteboard represents a functional intent environment. The individual lines of code are now secondary to the high-level system architecture you've designed. Transitioning from manual syntax generation to intent-driven orchestration is the greatest leverage multiplier in the history of human engineering. If you've mapped out your own blueprint, share your workflow in the comments or download the official template from the description. Stop typing and start commanding. The AI native era is waiting for your instructions.